Good day, good fam. It is getting hot in here. It is getting hot in here for Aston Martin. What's up, Mary Beanie? What's up? What's up? We got DRS 44 in the house and we got Wildcat in the house. Good shout out to everybody. So listen, it is getting hot in here for Aston Martin. And there are definitely some things that I want to talk about and discuss. But I will say this. I don't know how true it is. I don't know how accurate it is. I don't know where the information might actually come from and if it's actually true or if it's just kind of like floating out there to try to have a major comeback for a major setback. I don't know. But it is rumored that Aston Martin is considering showing up to the Australian GP, formation lap, a few laps, and then DNFing their cars. And that indeed will be one of the biggest Marshawn Lynch ploys in Formula One. I'm just showing up so I don't get fined. That's kind of what that is. I'm just showing up so I don't get fined. That's exactly what Aston Martin would be doing if they did that. What's up, K5 White Iverson? So there's a lot of things going on here. I already said that I'm going to give Aston Martin some time to get along with their new program, with being a works team, with a new power unit, with Adrian Newey, new design car, philosophy, and all of that. I'm still going to give them that time. Is this a bit of a stain on the tablecloth of performance? Yeah, it completely is. If you're talking about showing up to the first race, which I guess better first than in the middle and then a few, to only do formation lap and then a few laps, which is essentially an extension of testing and then DNFing your cars, you definitely have a big problem in your program. And although I'm going to give you that time as far as my opinion and criticism of you as a team, that is an indictment. That's a pretty big thing to do. And what else is an indictment is this. How in the hell does an F2 champion in Felipe Drugovich get signed into Aston Martin and never get a full opportunity to display his talent, skills, and ability in a Formula One car? And I think that should be criminal. There should be a lawsuit able to be had. Felipe should be able to sue Aston Martin for wasting almost, I think, 3 seasons of his life behind a driver in Lawrence Stroll who clearly we all believe is not on the level. I think that there should be some type of retribution. I think there should be some type of compensation for time lost in a team where it was no justification for him to have time lost. Felipe Drugovich was an F2 champion. I get it. Lawrence Stroll, F3 champion, not F2. And Lawrence Stroll has been in Formula One for some time, and his ceiling is set. We do not expect more from Lawrence Stroll. With Adrian Newey, even if Aston Martin delivered a rocket-powered car, we would expect less from Lawrence Stroll than we would expect from any other rookie on the grid. I think anybody in here would take any one of the 6 or 5 rookies and take them over Lawrence Stroll any damn day, because you know what? The ceiling there is undiscovered. I know what I have with Lawrence Stroll, and it's not a much. So for Felipe Drugovich to never get his true opportunity as an F2 champion, you earned that. As an F2 champion, you earned the right and the respect if a team chooses to bring you in to officially get to start. Jack Do Nothing got an opportunity. Colapinto got an opportunity. Oliver Bearman got an opportunity. What are we doing right now? Hadjar got an opportunity. How is it that the F2 champion doesn't get an opportunity? So, yeah, that is egregious. And I know Felipe's got to be sitting back saying, shit hurts, but I might like watching it from afar. And I think, honestly, there might be something in there because of Aston Martin having him locked up. I believe if Felipe was a free agent, and I don't know who his agent is because I kind of fault his agent a little bit too. I do believe if Felipe was a free agent at that point in time, with as many driver seats that were available, as many rookies as we had come into the sport, Felipe no way does not have a seat. I do honestly believe that. And I'm going to say this. Maybe, possibly, maybe, if Albon is not on the level this season, Carlos stays, and maybe James Vowles goes out and says, Felipe, come drive for Williams. Maybe that could happen. You were with Mercedes power unit teams before. We're a Mercedes power unit team. We got an open available seat. I think that would be a good option. Felipe to Williams Racing. Just saying. So there's a lot of things that are going to be going on right now with Aston Martin. Okay, not showing up, or basically showing up, but only to not show up for the whole race. And then you got this whole situation with Honda power units. And I have confidence in Honda. Okay, it's not as if Honda hasn't had to dig themselves out or figure things out before. But then you got this guy in your team, your elder statesman in Alonso. And he said some pretty critical things about Honda as far as them being a power unit supplier. GP2 engines. Anybody remember that? I think that was 2000. What was that? Was it 2015? 2014, 15. What's up, Roxanne? What's up, K5 White Iverson? What's up, Miss Dino? Mary Beanie. It was somewhere around there. And he literally basically shit on Honda, okay? Mary Beanie in the Super Chat says, remember I said Aston won't do anything 2 to 3 seasons. And that's very likely true. And that's what I'm going to get to. Honda has been known to recover from these things. But it's going to take some seasons. I don't see, and I wouldn't discount them to recover in a smaller amount of time, maybe. But it could be 2 to 3 seasons before Aston is fully along and in stride. Gary, I want everybody just to wish Gary and his family good positive vibes. Gary, good positive vibes to you. Hey, fam, can't stay long. Just saying hello to Wolfpack. Wishing Aston Martin the world as well. Swapping possible. They finished last in the championship. Man, hey, Gary, big up to you, man. So, yeah, I have confidence in Honda to recover from this. It's just might take some time. You got to remember the whole situation when they came in the Toro Rosso, Red Bull Racing, basically. It's going to take some time. It's valid to take time. Sometimes this is not as easy. And even in regular production or road cars, just taking a 350 small block Chevy out of one car and putting it in another doesn't necessarily mean you're going to have the same performance in one car to the next car. There's some variables that can change there. Did that 350 have a turbo 350, or did it have a turbo 400 trans? Are you going with a 700R? Those things could change, right? Though, and that's kind of what we're working with right now with Honda. The gearbox, the power unit being mounted to a gearbox that can't take it. And with that situation at hand, it's not necessarily a small task for Aston Martin to just go and tackle, like, oh yeah, we're just gonna find a gearbox, stuff it in there. There's a lot of shit built around that unit. The chassis built around that shit. So you can't just change this and think you're not gonna have to change umpteen amount of things. All of these things in a Formula One car are so nuanced and so fitted together to work in harmony is what you're hoping for, that when you change one component, many other components have a ripple effect of being impacted. So Aston Martin is really, really got their work cut out for them. And as dope and as Batmanish as this car looked when it came out of the garage, and it was stunning, and it still is stunning, Adrian Newey is not responsible for the power unit. All right? Adrian Newey is not responsible for the power unit. He didn't build the power unit. Adrian Newey can assist with helping them try to solve this problem, but that is not Adrian Newey's department. Adrian Newey doesn't build the power unit. He doesn't build the gearboxes. Adrian Newey can help assemble all and make things get acclimated into the overall scheme of the car. Yes, but that's not him. So I think if we're hearing a clamoring of Adrian Newey is busted or he's no good, that's not. Adrian Newey pretty much had this same issue when he had designed the cars for Toro Red Bull, when they were with the Renault power units. I mean, there was a problem with Renault power units. That wasn't Adrian Newey. A lot of things happened with Renault power unit in them seasons. That wasn't Adrian Newey's fault. So I'm not out on Adrian Newey. I understand some people have their things about it, but let's just be real. Adrian Newey's a genius. He's an engineering Formula One car genius, and it's been proven time and time again that he can build an efficient, aerodynamically competitive car. I don't think anybody should be trying to take that from him, for sure. If you are, I need to hear what your case is, and I need to be able to comp that case against other engineers in the sport that have been in and out of the sport. Now, maybe you don't like some things that you think he's done or some things maybe he's been a part of and maybe he was complicit or not, but all of that is not we're not throwing the baby out with the bathwater in this scenario. I just think that's a problem. And then another thing that can be an issue for Aston Martin, and this is where Aston Martin, your decision to basically waste Felipe Drugovich's career in Formula One may come back to bite you in your ass. Alonso is not the best person at public relations. He's just not. So if this, and he's got less years in front of him than he does behind him. Okay, so he's got more years behind him than he does in front of him. I think that's an even better way to say it. I don't know what his mentality is going to be if this situation keeps building, that there is an enormous challenge and I may not be able to compete for championships. Where does his patience go? What is he going to end up doing? He's already said things that rubbed Honda the wrong way in the past. Is he going to start saying things now? What if you find yourself in a situation where Alonso has become such a problem, it does not benefit our partnership to have him in the team? What if Honda comes up with a damn ultimatum that we're not going to take this public lashing by Alonso, and if you don't do something about it, we'll find a way where we'll be out. We left something with Red Bull not having to deal with BS. We didn't come here to the Emerald Green City team to deal with somebody else's BS. So if Alonso can't get along with the plan, you know what? Why don't you go get Yuki? Why don't you go get Felipe and beg for him to come back? Because we're not going to keep dealing with that. So I don't know what this will I don't know what this will bring out. I don't know how bad this can get. I don't know the extent in which we're going to see this all play out. This could be a very dramatic season for Aston Martin. So that's looking pretty crazy right now. And I'm going to say right now, Lawrence Stroll is starting to look like the Jerry Jones of Formula One. Jerry Jones said he would write a check for a large amount of money. No amount of money was too large for Jerry Jones to write a check if it said he was going to get a Super Bowl. Lawrence Stroll is going to become the Jerry Jones of Formula One. You have all the money. You have all the cachet. You've purchased all the nice high-tech equipment, the facilities. You've bought in a GOAT in engineering. You acquired the Honda Power Unit. You have a plethora, filthy bag of riches. And all of that being said does not guarantee you a championship competing team, let alone a championship for constructors. Doesn't. You have to know how to cook and work with these ingredients. Just because I bring you filet mignon, just because I bring you the ingredients for a beef Wellington, doesn't mean you know how to construct that meal in such a way that it is 5-star Michelin chef type shit. And you, sir, Lawrence Stroll, are now completely on the clock. Completely. You've made a lot of ridiculous decisions in the eyes of a lot of people having opinions. Felipe Drugovich is one of them. Keeping your son in the team for as long as he's been under-approving is another. We got 083 in the Super Chat says, if Aston Martin shows up in Australia just to DNF, that would be a catastrophic, and I mean, what the hell are you doing shaking my head? It will be. X-Trax38, what up? Hey, Jay, rumors are circulating that it is Newey's fault for the Honda problems. Package too tight, causing the battery to cook itself. Now, if that is the case, then that is an Adrian Newey problem. True, but at the same time, is that not also research and development? Right? I mean, how could anybody foresee that maybe this packaging would cause this battery to cook itself? So if that is it, that seems kind of like it might be a little bit easier to fix than if some other things. But I'm just saying, like, that should be a problem that they can eventually get fixed. And if that is the case, that's, then yeah, Adrian Newey has to wear that. Say, hey, okay, I got to redesign the car, but it's Not like they had a bunch of running to begin with. So, I mean, that's something that he should be able to fix, if so. But if that is the case, then Adrian Newey, yeah, definitely, he got to stand up on that. He got to stand on business. Like, okay, I just have to go back to the drawing board. And that's what that is. That's what that would be about. We always knew there was going to be a team of one of the teams that we would expect to perform better than not that was going to be the latter performing team. And it just so happened it's Aston Martin. And I'm still saying that Aston Martin effectively is very similar to Cadillac and Audi. I am giving Aston Martin the leeway that I would give a new team on the grid. I think they do deserve that. I mean, you putting so much stuff together, and let's not, they are literally going the opposite direction that Alpine went. Alpine was a customer team. No, Alpine was a works team. Now it has become a customer team. Aston Martin was a customer team, now has become a works team. Those directions have very different challenges. Going towards customer team is customer support. Things that are already worked out that we don't necessarily have to work out to an umpteenth degree. Going the other direction is a very big uphill battle. And with what they have, they should be able to kind of work it out. Bad thing is, Lawrence Stroll, there is a cost cap. So you can't spend an enormous amount of money to cover up your mistakes. Every move and every decision that you make is going to have consequences and are very marginal progressive results. Wildcat says Honda recommended Newey reinforce the PU area of the chassis to calm down the vibration. Honestly, Aston got a lot to figure. They do, brother. They do definitely have that. And I wonder if that is the case. We were talking about weight savings and all that. And it might be true when we get done or when they get done, because we don't have to do shit. We just get to sit back and watch. When they get done, we might find that the car is going to be a little bit heavier. The Aston Martin car might end up being just a tad bit heavy, which means a small decrease in performance because weight is not necessarily your friend when it comes to trying to be fast. So, yeah, they got a lot to figure out. They do have a lot to figure out. And although it is going to be, I'm going to even talk about it. It's going to be a very loud bang the first GP to see Aston Martin roll around the track and pull back in and say, all right, we're done. Oh, yeah, it's going to be large. It's going to be widely talked about. It's going to be widely criticized. And you better hope that on formation lap, the car doesn't fail. If the car fails during a formation lap, yeah, it's going to be bad for Aston Martin. It's going to be a lot of questions. There are going to be a lot of journalists on site looking for Lawrence Stroll. They're going to be looking for the drivers. The drivers going to show up. We're looking for Lawrence Stroll, and we're looking for Adrian Newey. We want to talk to y'all for sure. For sure. Without a doubt, I want to talk to one of you guys. Without a doubt. I want to know what's going on. So, yeah, you might be the talk of the town, much like Jerry Jones is. Always Super Bowl or bust. Always not going to the big show. And you know what? Let's make a little bit of drama in the season so we can keep our name on the tongues of all the journalists, talking heads, sports shows, and all that good stuff. So, hey, if that's what you want to be, the Dallas Cowboys, Formula One, you go right ahead. I heard it's very lucrative. Dallas Cowboys are still one of the most richest revenue teams in all of the world, not just football, all of the world. And a lot of it's because of Jerry Jones's foolishness and all of the talking points that he gives the radio stations and the TV stations and the sports shows have to talk about. All the ridiculous things he does, like trading away Micah Parsons and bringing in somebody who's not as good as Micah, and then your defense is one of the worst defenses, and now you looking crazy. So I don't know. I hope Lawrence is ready. I hope he's ready. Because not having that guy is already a fault. And then coming into this season, talking about you might be missing the first race. Woo, shit. It's going to be hot in here. It's going to be hot in this kitchen. Damn. Yeah, it's going to be bad for Adrian Newey. But, hey, I guess worse things have happened. You know, they do happen. But it does make it a very interesting season. I told you Aston Martin was going to be one of the teams that I was going to be watching very closely to see what was going to be happening. Even more so close than Audi or Cadillac because of everything that they're trying to tie together and some of the things that they've done and going to a works team. It's hey, the world works in a circle. Everything that you put out can indeed come back your way. Just saying. So hell yeah. We got Wildcat says Honda record. No, I didn't miss. What super chat are you talking about? I got X-Track. I got Wildcat 083. Who did I miss? I got everybody. I got 083. I got X-Tracks, and I got Wildcat. So who did I miss? Let me go to the fan funding. I got Gary. No, I didn't miss anybody super chat. I got everybody super chat. Newey record. Yeah, I got everybody super chat. So I don't know what you're talking about, Mary Beanie. If there's one that you saw that I didn't see, let me know. But I got the last super chat was Wildcat. Honda recommended Newey reinforce the power unit, assist the chassis to calm down vibrations, which I just finished reading that one off. Big shout out to Wildcat, 40-month membership. Crazy work, brother. Crazy work. No, I said it earlier. I said Wildcats earlier when he said that. For his fault on the situation. That if that's going to be his fault, I think I said Wildcats earlier. I said, yeah, because I did. Aston got a lot to figure out. So, yeah, I read Wildcats earlier, but you might have missed it. But, yeah, this is going to be a good time. It's going to be a good season, at least to start. I don't know how it's going to turn out. And I don't know how many of you have actually watched. I'll save that for another show. I'll save that for another live. We could talk about that on another live for real. Definitely. But I think that X-Tracks and Wildcat have two very good points on that. And I think Wildcat brings up a good point as well to weight. X-Tracks brings up another good point to the battery cooking itself, and that could get bad. X-Tracks also says Newey changed the design last minute. Now, that X-Tracks to watch out. Now, that X-Tracks, that is something definitely to watch out for, right? And I'll say this. I think that we still have to give Adrian Newey some time on that. We got to remember how he develops cars. He's very hands-on, methodical, and still, I think, one of the only engineers to draw his designs out. You have to give him the room because he's earned it. Adrian Newey has earned it. Until further notice, it might be rough, but there's no reason for us to think that eventually he won't hit the target. Somebody like Adrian Newey, you need to give him room, make it happen. Make it happen. True enough, a very big risk of Adrian Newey being also team principal to cut out that middleman, but also sometimes it's good to have a buffer. Because sometimes somebody's going to have to say, hey, I know you want to do this, but right now, I need you to do this first, and then let's kind of integrate it gradually. I know you don't want to. I know you want to do it right now, Newey, but we kind of gotta watch out for this. We need to collect a little bit of this and make it happen. And sometimes it works better the other way. I don't need this guy. This guy's just going to slow down our progress. So you got Adrian Newey for a reason, and if that is the case, and he changed it last minute, I would say, hey, I'm gonna roll with the growing pains. And I'm gonna roll with it for a season. I'm gonna roll with Adrian Newey's growing pains for an entire season. You wanna know why? This is why. Because nothing beats real world, one-to-one reality experience. All that shit on CFD, all that shit in the wind tunnel, all that what if, what can, how so, all that, cool. We're going to find out what's up, throw it and see what happens. But when you are analyzing real in-race trim data, that is as good as you can get to try to build a reality functional car in competitive settings. So if Adrian Newey comes back the next week, say, okay, we're going to change this. Okay, we're going to change that. Okay, now that I realize this, we're going to change this. Okay, now that you gave me that, I'm going to let him do it. And I'm going to let him have a full season of doing it. Because I'm going to trust, I got this guy for a reason. He's delivered on every plane that he's landed on. If it takes a season, it takes a season. But by next season, because the regulations will have been the same, we'll have a year of experience going into testing, going into this. I expect for things to be umpteenth better. So, yeah, I'm going to cash in one season. I'm not finna sit here and panic. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm going to appreciate or be comfortable with all the things that are about to be said and all the questions that I'm about to have and all of the lack of performance that the standings on drivers and constructors are about to reflect. Yeah, I'm not going to like that. But you know what I am going to like? At the end of the day, at the end of the season, if Adrian Newey comes to me and says, we got it, we good. And in testing, I see that we actually do have it. It actually is good. Yeah, I'm cool with that. Because to be honest, as whack as Lance Stroll is, you probably feel he's young enough to keep going. Alonso's older. I might be able to get another driver in here. And that truly still might be a little bit of a downfall for you. That your program does get up and running and you realize that you have a driver's pairing that is not capable of pushing the car to where it can be pushed. So that could be an issue too. So X-Tracks, I'm going to give them the opportunity. I'm going to give them the leeway to have some last-minute changes, in my opinion. In my opinion. With some of you all give him the leeway, I'm going to poll this. I'm going to poll this. I want to know what you all would do. Matter of fact, I'm going to be a little bit more accurate. Poll it. Would you give Newey the season? Would you give Newey the season to figure things out? Not even just Newey, but Honda too. I'm willing to give him a season. It's the first season of a new era of regulations. I mean, it's going to be difficult anyway. I'm going to give him the season. We watched when we had the ground effects era came in. So many teams were stumbling and fumbling over this. So Mercedes did it for 3 seasons. Mercedes did it for 3 seasons. For sure. So, yes, they did it for 3 seasons. I'm giving Adrian Newey a season. So, yeah, like X-Track said, Newey changed the design last minute, then okay. He going to change the design last minute. I'm going to let him have it. To me, it's going to be part of the game. It's part of what I signed up for. And if you signed up to be the best miraculously without a season under your belt with all the different changes you've had in your team, then you signed yourself up to be delusional. You signed yourself up to be delusional. Because there are way too many variables in Aston Martin this season that have changed for anybody that is being realistic to feel that, oh, yeah, we're going to put all these ingredients together and we're going to come out banging. We're about to be the top team. Man, stop. Stop it. It's not realistic at all. That's not realistic. I would hope nobody thought that. Now, we can say what we expect because you got all these bags of riches, and I do expect you to show me something. But necessarily showing us something doesn't mean they're winning races. Showing us something means that we're seeing the program, maybe it starts off rough at the beginning of the season, and we see them progressively get better over the course of the next few races, and then again over the next few. Then next thing you know, they're bringing an upgrade package. Not an upgrade, but an updated package. And that updated package does indeed convert itself into an upgrade of positive performance. And then we see them keep growing, and we see that team go from lower, higher standings, mid standings, and we get to see them start really kind of getting their footing. That's positive progress in a season. For a team, to me, that has had this magnitude of change and variables. That's just how I see it. So I'm waiting. This, like I said, I think this is going to be a very interesting season. It's hard for it not to be a very interesting season, knowing what we know right now about the season coming in. So it's 50-50. Y'all said 50-50. Half of y'all said yes, half of y'all said no. So I'm gonna break the even. 50%, more than us said yes. I'm with that. So yeah, 60-40. I'll go that. So yeah, I'm with it. So we'll see what happens. It's gonna be interesting. First race, we're gonna be here. We're gonna be here for our race live stream. So it's gonna be interesting. Qualifying and all that good shit. It's almost game time, people. It's almost game time. So we'll see what's gonna happen. Appreciate everybody pulling up. X-Tracks, everybody that did super chats, putting their name in the hat for the giveaway. X-Tracks, Wildcat, X-Tracks put his name in the hat and their name in there 2 times in here. Gary, Zero, and Mary Beanie. Big shout out to you all participating. Mary Beanie says she ain't really feeling the giveaway. You might actually end up getting it because you said you don't feel it. You might actually end up getting that giveaway just because George Russell, Woody might be trying to come back and hunt you, Mary Beanie. Might say, now you got to look at me every day. So you never know. But I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace and love. Y'all take care.